Hey friends, Scott Smith again with the Smith team at Keller Williams. Wanted to share with you some insights on part two on what to expect from a home inspection. The first part I covered more the exterior of the property, and this time I'm going to cover more of the things that a home inspector will be looking at when it relates to the interior of the property. They're going to be checking out the systems of the property, making sure that things are safe, and then also what just kind of general maintenance things that a home buyer can expect to tackle with their new property. No home is maintenance free and no home is perfect. So it's a good idea to have an opportunity to really have an extra set of eyes looking at that property to make sure that everything is safe. So when it comes to the major systems in a property, the one thing that you've got is the electrical system. Has the electrical been updated over the years? Is it adequate for the load that it's bearing? And we've seen over the years, obviously, you see some properties that were built in the 1920s, 30s, 40s, where they've got different electrical systems that were just coming into the new technology. And they've got more of the new code electrical systems. We've seen anything from the old knob and tube to really some real fancy technology with the newer electrical systems. So a home inspector will actually open up the cover panel. They'll be able to take a close look at to make sure there's nothing that's compromised on the box. And they'll also be checking out any of the outlets and making sure that everything is working properly. The things that they're looking for is the safety of the electrical systems with any outlets that might not have a ground with them, or a GFI outlet. We see quite often where those have worn out over time. The second thing I want to share with you is when it comes to plumbing. So the major plumbing systems, a good home inspector will run their inspection from top to bottom when they're inside. So running water through all the faucets and the sinks and the tubs and the showers to make sure there's no leaks. By the time you get to the basement, you're going to notice if there's any leaks or any compromises with that. So that plumbing system relates to the water that's coming into the property, and it also relates to the water as it's going out of the property. So making sure that the toilets and everything is running properly as it should, so you don't have any issues. One add-on that more buyers are doing these days is actually a sewer scope inspection. It costs about $150 to have that sewer line inspected. We've seen more and more now where the sewer lines have been compromised and maybe there's some settling in them, and it can cause some backups. So you want to make sure that if you're checking that out, it's a very expensive fix, usually $5 to $7, sometimes $10,000 for that. So $150 sewer scope inspection is worth the money if you're going to find out you might have a big problem later on. The third thing I want to share with you that they're going to be checking out is the HVAC system, the heating, ventilating, and air conditioning system. If the property, depending on what type of system it has, it could have a hot water heat with a boiler. It could have a heat pump. It could have some mini splits, but most often you're going to see where it has a forced air furnace, especially in Minnesota. The time that that's going to go on is going to be the coldest day in January or February, and you're going to have to scramble to make sure that you've got heat in your property. So the home inspector will usually do a carbon monoxide test with it, make sure that the flames are burning bright blue. There's nothing that's compromised with that. And so the furnace system, you want to make sure that that system is maintained properly. Typically, the inspectors will recommend an annual, if not every other year, tune-up, and then also changing out that furnace filter at least once a month to make sure that the furnace is breathing properly. Good maintenance on those is like anything; it's going to help that system last that much longer. Depending on the time of year, they'll be able to run the air conditioning to make sure that that's operational. A typical air conditioner lasts about 15 years, so not quite as long as the furnace. But in Minnesota, they don't get stress tested nearly as much as they do in other parts of the country. So looking at those major systems, you've got the electrical, the plumbing, the HVAC, and just maintaining them for a longer lifespan so it doesn't get too expensive for you right out of the gates. Additional add-ons that more and more buyers are doing these days is a radon test. Minnesota does not require a radon test, but it's something that more and more buyers are doing. And it's usually about $150 to $200 to have that radon test. If the radon results do come back high, it's about $2,000 for that radon mitigation system to be installed depending on the property and the levels of the radon. And most radon installers will have a guarantee with that. So if there's something that would change or be compromised, they can come back out and take a look at it. Another inspection that we're seeing more with buyers as homes are built more tightly with wraps and more energy efficiency, we're also seeing some issues potentially with mold and moisture. So making sure the home is ventilated properly, again, from the inside out, and any of that moisture inside the home is being able to get out of the property. And so some buyers have some serious allergies with mold and mildew, and we want to make sure that they're safe for their family. So they are doing a mold test with that. So we've had a couple of buyers that have done that, and everything worked out great, which is fantastic. But those are the things you just can't see. Some things that a home inspection does not cover. Home inspectors do not have that x-ray vision. They can't see behind the walls, what's going on behind the walls, if they've been finished or they've been painted over, or if there was an issue a long time ago that was maybe not quite done to code, not quite done safely, and they sheetrocked over over the walls. You can't see behind there. So there's only so much a home inspector can see, but they look for clues inside and out where they can to give you some insight on it. If we did run into something like that, a good example is like with a stucco inspection. They can maybe see some clues, and they might actually hire a home or a stucco inspector to check to see if there's any moisture behind the walls that they can't see. And that's about a $400 or $500 expense to do that. So you can spend a lot of money on home inspections, but you're also going to get a really good education on the structural integrity and the safety of the systems within your property that you're hopefully going to be buying. Any questions on that, certainly reach out to us. We're happy to help. We always love to be with our buyers for their home inspections, because that gives us an opportunity to learn more and more about the homes that we're helping our clients find in today's real estate market. If you found this video informative and helpful, give us a thumbs up or a heart, or just say thanks. We appreciate it. And anyone that you know that would find value in this, send it off to them. We'd be happy to help them with their home ownership journey. Thanks again. Have a great day. Take care.